Hello, my name is Mauricio Martinez. I am 22 years old, and I have not had a close friend in over 2 years. Now, I know you're probably thinking in some degree that, oh, if you don't have any friends, it's probably because you're weird, you're a bad friend, yada yada yada. Or you don't have the social skills. And I'd be inclined to agree. I don't really have the social skills to make friends. I don't really know how to make friends. I didn't realize that until I got older, that you have to reach out, you have to make an effort. You can't just always expect people to reach out to you. It's not just one-sided. It communication goes both ways. But as for why I haven't had any close friends in the last 2 years, I I've been afraid. I've been afraid to open up. I'm afraid that if I do open up, it'll be used against me, that the people I talk to don't really actually like me. They're just talking to me out of convenience. What I mean by that is, after watching this movie called Obsession, it made me realize that a lot of the people I see in my family around me, a lot of their interactions, a lot of their friendships aren't actually based on friendship. They're just based on proximity or based on not wanting to be alone. And for a while, that's how I was. Because by the time I hit college, I only had one little group left, basically. And I was very afraid that if I lost this group, then I have no one. I don't have anyone else to talk to. And I was so obsessed with the social stigma that, oh, you don't have friends. Oh, that guy over there, he doesn't have any friends. He's so weird. He must be such a weirdo. And I was really afraid of that. And at the same time, I was deathly afraid of not having anyone because I didn't know how to make friends. People just would come up to me in the past, and that's another thing. It's a lot harder to make friendships the older you get, because it just feels like sometimes people don't really want to talk to you. It's just one-sided. But if you ask me, does it suck? Yeah, it does. It's lonely, it's boring, it's kind of depressing. But I will say this. I don't regret the decision I made to not talk to those people anymore. Because for a while, one of the people in that group were my best friend. And the first time I told him no, because I was still very afraid to tell people no. I was afraid that if I told them no, they wouldn't like me anymore, they wouldn't be my friend anymore, and then I'd be an outcast. So the first time I told him no, and I told him something personal a while back, he used that against me. He brought it up, and I felt betrayed. That made me realize that this person who I think is supposed to be my best friend just tried to emotionally manipulate me into doing what he wanted because I didn't want to. That was the tipping point. Not necessarily the breaking point, but after that day, I never trusted him again like I used to. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and to the point where I was putting more into it than I was getting out of. And it was starting to affect my grades. It was starting to make it where I was cutting myself off. And eventually I just decided, he's not my friend anymore. And so I ended it. I'll admit I still think about it sometimes, but I don't regret the decision I made that day. Because I learned that day, or a while later actually, that it's better to be alone, not have any friends or whatnot, than to have people who make you feel more lonely than when you're by yourself. That it's more painful to be alone in a group of people than it is to be by yourself. And that's the lesson I took. Now, granted, I don't think... It's a paradox. On one hand, I want to make friends because I know it's an amazing feeling when you have people that like being around you, they like you, they listen to you, they talk to you, they make you laugh. It's an amazing feeling. At the same time, I'm so afraid to open up again that I just don't. I just keep to myself. I only talk if I have to, and that's that. But last week, I was thinking, before I made this video, that I've done the same thing for so many years now that I never thought that I could change, that I thought I'm going to be stuck like this the rest of my life, and I don't want that. Which is why I decided I'm going to be asking out a girl. Yeah, I'm cringing thinking about how it's gonna go. But it made me realize I missed so many opportunities, not just in terms of friendships, but relationships as well. So I have to change. Because I think you can be alone and not be lonely. I think those are two concepts that are different. And while, yeah, I would say I'm doing better than probably other people that would be doing, not having any close friends for 2+ years or not seeing anyone, I would say I've done overall pretty well. I would say it's mostly just been taking its toll a lot more recently, which is why I've also made this video. But I will say this, for those of you that may not have friends or not any close friends, that you only talk to them because it's convenient, you're afraid to be alone, etc. I want you to ask yourself this one question. Is it more painful being with them, with people that you don't really even like, that people aren't really even your friend, they don't have loyalty to you? Or is it better off being by yourself and not being treated like less or not being treated like crap? Because that's the decision I had to come up. That's the decision I had to make for myself.